guys, thank you for joining me with our series today. We're going to be doing another one of our cultural crafts. This one from ancient Egypt. So many of you may have seen movies with like Cleopatra or pharaohs or different people from that culture or time period, and you may have noticed that they have a lot of jewelry or accessories, especially with like collars or headdresses or necklaces and bracelets. And so we are going to be doing one of their necklaces or collars out of a paper plate. So what you're going to need for this obviously is a paper plate, and then I have another one because we are going to be painting as well. So you want to grab your paint, and for this one many of their jewelry was made out of gold, so I have yellow for that. And then the other colors, it's completely up to you guys what you want to do. I have red and two different kinds of blue. But you can use whatever colors you want for this, and you can also look up just the kind of collars and necklaces that they used to have if you want to get an idea for what colors you want to use for that. You're also going to need a couple paintbrushes. I have two with me, and then a pair of scissors. So what we want to do first is we want to cut out our necklace from the paper plate. So what we're going to do is look at this, and we're gonna see which way we want to wear it. So I want mine to stick up with this part out. So I'm gonna look at this, and I want the front part, which is gonna be around my neck, I want that to be wider, and I want it to get smaller and narrower as it gets to the back. So it'll go from wider to small. And in order to cut that, we're gonna just start by cutting one slit in. Alright, and you can also draw this with a pencil if you're a little bit nervous to do this first. And I'm just going to cut around this ring, but then I'm going to slowly cut a little bit inward. And then as I come back out, I'm going to come back out and cut narrower again. It may seem a little bit confusing. So another way to do this would just to cut out a circle first. And then once you have your original circle, you can go back, like now I can go back and make this part, like the end, the back of the necklace, I can make it more narrow and edit it to how I want it. So you can mess around with how narrow to how wide you want the proportions of your necklace to be. Or you may want it all one size. It's completely up to you. So now that I have this part of it, I'm going to cut the ends off right here, just to make sure that I have some space for it to go around my neck, and then I can try it on. So it's going to look like this, and we're going to go ahead and paint it. So obviously this is not something you would wear during this time period, or unless you're in a costume party or something, but this is definitely something that people during that day and age love to show off because it showed their signs of superiority or wealth, because a lot of the wealthy had the gold ones, which I will be painting this. So now you can go ahead and grab your paint and begin to paint it. So you want one base color. If you want to do gold, that's fine. If not, you can do whatever color you want. A lot of the poorer people or the people who were middle class used bone or wood to make their jewelry, so they didn't have gold. So a lot of architects find artifacts that are wooden or bone that were for the people who couldn't afford gold and the precious jewels that would be put into it. You can also color this with markers if you don't have paint. Perfectly fine. So whatever you guys have on hand during this time period. Alright, so I have mine completely covered with paint. It's now gold, as you can see. And I'm just going to set that down and let it dry. So while your collar is dry, you can think about the design that you want to paint on it. And a lot of people used different jewels or gems or diamonds to place into their collar just to display again their like level of wealth or whatever they had. But you can also just do a really cute design on it, make something really cool. so you can practice around with dots or shapes or different things. A lot of times they would do jewels along the outside or something, or beads were often used. So if you want to mimic that, you can take a little dab of your paint and just draw small little lines on the outside. So they look like this. They're very small. You can barely see them. It depends on the color that you use. So I'm just gonna go around with mine and do these little imitation beads with my paint. Alright, so I have mine outlined in little tiny beads, and I can go back through and maybe add some more. So maybe I want some red beads in between the blue ones that I just placed. So I'm just gonna go back through in the little spaces that I made, add some red ones. And if you guys don't have certain colors that you want, always remember that you can mix them. So if you want some purple, red and blue, definitely get you there. Think about colors if you want green or if you want to practice making browns or pink. Alright, so now I have my red and my blue. So now I just have my dark blue that I kind of want to use somewhere. So I think I'm just going to do the same thing, but I'll do it on the inside, and I'm going to do smaller dots along the inside of my rim. So it's going to be along this part. Alright, so now I have my beads, and I think this is where I want to stop because I want a simpler Egyptian necklace, but you guys can obviously keep going with your dots and your lines. You can cover the whole thing with it, or leave it like this, or draw in your own jewelry. However, this is what I have, and it is going to go around my neck like this, but I want to make sure that it's dry so it doesn't get on anything. So you guys just make sure you set it out to dry for a few minutes when you're done painting. So I hope you guys had a lot of fun doing that. It's super simple, and it would be really cool if you guys were able to incorporate that into costumes, or find other ways to make paper plate bracelets and other things. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but the Egyptian culture and jewelry from ancient Egypt was very, very cool. If you guys are able to learn more about that, just look at our resources and our links. So if you enjoyed this, please share it with us at #ILove@artsphere.inc, and or email at us at info@artsphere.org, and we would love to see your projects. So thank you, and have an awesome day, guys.